With all things bear hug escape related, we're looking at this idea of contraction, expansion, contraction, and turn. That's what I'm after over and over and over, and that'll maintain your base, right? If you're in the habit of not having good posture and then trying to go for a bridge, you're gonna have to catch your base. You're not gonna be very effective. You're gonna be imbalanced. You might get your head driven to the floor. You might lose your position over and over, right? It's gonna be a challenge. So whenever you're dropping and contracting here, strong positioning. And then I'm gonna have a good bridge and immediately turn. And that way, if somebody pulls me back, which might be a natural reaction on this bridge, I'm already ready to go with it and recover. That's an important aspect for this, all right? For pretty much all the bear hug escapes. We'll also include some of the strikes that can be available as part of this to aid in your ability to get out should you not be able to get out using the bridge alone. Remember though, a lot of stuff in survival self-defense is built on surprise and explosion, right? If I explosively move really strongly and it's a surprise to the attacker, there's a really high percentage chance that it's going to be successful. When somebody attacks you in the street, they're not necessarily expecting that you can explode through these movements on the first grip, right? They're expecting an advantage. That said, always maintain good structure and maximize your leverage in order to increase your chances to be effective right from the outset. So one of the primary reasons that somebody's going to grab you in a bear hug in the street is usually for a couple of reasons, right? There may be more than just what I'm offering here, but these are the bulk reasons. One, pick you up, take you with them. Maybe they're trying to kidnap you, put you in a car, okay? Another reason might be to drag you down to the floor, put you on the ground. Another reason might be to pick you up so a partner or an opponent, a secondary opponent, may hit you, something like that, right? Trying to hold your position and pulling you back. So there's a couple of reasons why this may be happening, okay? So I don't want to get dragged to the ground, and I don't want to get easily picked up. So posture really makes a difference, and your ability to maintain that posture while you are able to adapt is quite important. So let me give you an example, because you might be moving all over a particular area, and you might have to adapt your feet before you get an opportunity to bridge. So if Instructor Jason, for example, has got me wrapped around the waist, and I'm dropping down. Right now, what I've done here is I've made my weight really heavy, right? So if he's trying to pick me up to throw me or drag me down, it's gonna be hard because the weight distribution with my head and center of gravity is farther away, okay? So I'm dropping down. If he's trying to push me forward, well, I can adapt. If he's trying to pull me down, I can adapt, right? I can move my feet and adapt those feet before I bridge. So all of those kind of pieces are quite important to be able to do. So when you drop, you might have your feet staggered, but you need to be able to be moving through this, and at any point when you find your stability in that moment, to be able to bridge and move into the next position. You also want to be careful that I don't have posture that invites somebody to really overload my back and fall on top of me when I drop low, right? If he grabs me up from the outside and I do this, oh my gosh, his weight is so heavy to hold, right? And we're about the same weight. You can imagine if somebody's much bigger than you. So when you drop down, you need to be in a solid position where you're using the power of your legs, the power of your glutes, and the power of your back in a functional, high-strength way to maximize your ability to be as strong as possible and adapt, right? So when he's got me there, the weight is almost nothing here. He can't put enough weight on me. He can't drag me down easily. He can't pick me up easily. All right, these are really important concepts just in general to be able to adapt and give yourself the opportunity to move into a counterattack such as a bridge. The last thing I'll say here with regard to this is this also puts you in a position that allows you to start stomping the feet, striking the groin, raking the knees, all kinds of good shots with the elbows, whatever it might be, right? So if he's got me here and I'm in a solid position, I can slam the foot. I can slam this foot. I can rake the shin and still adapt, right? I might be able to bridge forward just a little bit and slam the groin. Look at that opening, right? Because I'm solid here. Bam, I can hit the groin fine on this side. I can maybe elbow him right in the chest on this side. So if my arms are collapsed and I can't do that as well, maybe just expanding just a little bit at the chest, now I can get that freedom again. So you start setting yourself up the ability to strike without losing your base. So that's important, all right? Foot stomps, hand strikes to the groin, elbow strikes to the chest or ribs, head strike when you bridge. All of those can support your ability to adapt and continue to get out of this bear hug. Last one I'll tell you is look for a groin grab, right? Grabbing and crushing the testicles. If I can strike the testicles, there's no doubt that I can grab the testicles from this position. That's a great move. Squeeze, get a hold. That can be just fine. Or if we're in this situation where he's underneath here, right? I can elbow strike in a good position. Bam. I can groin chop right here. I can foot stomp. You've got good stuff. I can take fingers and start ripping them. All kinds of good attacks from those positions, but I'm doing it from a stable, adaptive position so that I'm reducing the likelihood that he can pick me up easily or throw me down or drag me down easily, right? Going right for it. I'm not going to hang out in that position, but I just want to really emphasize how important it is to be able to be structurally adaptable and have striking opportunities before you bridge and get out. A great way that you can support your training for bear hug escapes is a really simple base exercise. So one partner simply wraps you up from the outside of the arms or underneath the arms or whatever combination and just pushes you around, and you simply adapt without falling over. If you lose your balance and fall together, hey, sometimes that happens at the beginning, but you're going to work for really solid just base control and adaptability. Don't bridge in this circumstance when you're training like this necessarily, or maybe you'll adapt for 30 seconds and then at the very end bridge to get out and then switch roles. That could be a way to include the bridge. But in any case, just a great exercise. Just get used to the pressure and balance and just have somebody push against you and drive you over the floor. And you just get used to being okay here and adapting your feet, right? I'm not worried about stripping the grip yet or striking or anything. I'm just working on base. He's pushing and pulling, and I'm just adapting and staying really strong and connected so I get used to dealing with that disruptive pressure. Wonderful exercise to include in your training.